What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Contractor Secrets Podcast. In today's episode, I talked to you about realtors and what I was able to have the privilege of doing, which was actually sitting in front of 12 realtors at a very prominent brokerage here in my town. And I was able to give a presentation about our company, and I think it's going to be extremely beneficial. So I just kind of wanted to share with you some insight on how that went, what I did, how I did it, and more importantly, how you can do it too. So this should be a good episode for you to expand your marketing reach.
The big question you need to ask yourself every day is, do I own a job or do I own a business? And unfortunately, the majority of contractors out there own a job. That's right, they're a slave to their own business. But the other side of the fence is so much greener, it's so much better, and that's when you're finally fully in control of your destiny, your freedom, your time. And that's what Contractor Secrets is about. It's about taking back our time, building a business with systems, standards, values, procedures, putting yourself in the driver's seat. And that's what it's about. So I'm excited. I'm happy to have you here. Let's dive into the Contractor Secrets Podcast.
What's going on, everyone? Today, we're going to talk about realtors. And fittingly enough, I had the great opportunity of being invited to a very prominent realtor, a broker's office. And I had the opportunity to speak in front of 13 or 14 realtors today. And I kind of just wanted to share with you maybe some tips, maybe some hints, just some ideas to help you get your foot in the door with realtors. And if you ever get this opportunity, I kind of want to give you some ammunition. I want to give you the ability to sell yourself to realtors, okay? First thing I want you to do is see that realtors are an extension of your business, because ultimately they have to sell their customers on why they should hire you, right? This is a very tricky thing for realtors. They don't want to risk their reputation because they gave the home buyer or seller somebody that didn't fulfill their promises, because how bad would they look, right? Because ultimately you have to understand that if they give a buyer or a seller or a potential buyer or seller your name, and they have the risk if you don't follow through, right? So they're not going to do that, because that could mean that they could lose the sale, could lose the listing, could lose an opportunity, could be a really sticky situation. So I found that most realtors avoid this altogether. And maybe I'm not the only one. I believe that, in the last 4 or 5 years, 5% of my referrals come from realtors, maybe. I'd even go less than that. And it's not because they don't know who we are. I think it's because I haven't met with them enough. I haven't gotten them to know me enough. And if you have good relationships with realtors, chances are it's because you sat down with them, you've got to meet them, they trust you, they know you, maybe you've worked for them. So thankfully, I was actually able to work for this broker. I worked on his house. I knew this going in, that at some point or another, I would get an opportunity. I didn't know what that opportunity was. I was very humbled by the opportunity that was given to be able to actually come in on their sales meeting and do a little presentation, which is way over and above what I ever thought he would allow me to do. I thought I'd just get referrals from him directly to his customers, which either way, whether that was happening or not, we still would have done a great job. But my awareness was very high because I really wanted to wow him. So we wound up wowing him, and he texted me the other day and said, "Hey, why don't you come in and do a little presentation on what you guys offer, who you are, so our agents can get to know you." That is such a credible resource. So going in, I did this little thing where I put together a really nice brochure, right? And the brochure wasn't something that I wanted them to give to their customers. The brochure was for them. The brochure was targeting them. And I actually put something on here that said home buyer guarantee. And it said, if any of your customers want to place a deposit and the deal falls through, that means that the contract becomes void, we will refund that deposit. So they have no worries or no risk in contracting with us. And when I said that to these group of people, I could see they're like, oh, wow, that's cool, because I know the problems, right? As a salesperson, as a business owner, I know that for people moving into a house, they have all these trades that they have to figure out how to get in, and all this timing takes place. So it's very beneficial for them to schedule a company way ahead of time. But the problem is they're scared to do that because they don't want to lose their deposit if the closing falls through. So what does this lead to? This leads to them trying to do it a week before. And if you've been in this position where you've worked with home buyers, you know that if you do it a week before, there's no way we can get in there. So what do they wind up doing? Settling for a contractor that has availability in a couple of days. Why does that guy have such easy availability? Well, it's pretty simple. We're not going to go that route, but you guys get it. So ultimately, when I was able to do this presentation, I outlined all this stuff. I said, hey, listen, we already know the process, right? So we are here to work with you. We want to make sure that we're a liaison to make you look good. We want to make sure that your clients have a seamless experience, and the last thing that we would ever want to do is be a hiccup in that experience. But the reality of the situation is they can't move in without us, right? We're the painters. You need the painters to move in. I mean, some people will, and then they're regretful when all their furniture's in there and they're like, they never do it. But there's people that know, hey, before we do anything, we have to get this house painted. So that was one of the incentives that I made sure that they were aware of. The next thing I did was I put on the brochure quick bids, right? So the ability for them to send us square footage, pictures, whatever, just text it to this number and we will give you a virtual quote. I did that because obviously you guys know who kind of, if you've ever heard about the way I do pricing, is based off square footage. I obviously do this for my convenience, but it's great for realtors because they can say, hey, Tanner, how much would it be to paint this 2,000 square foot house? So I told them, send me the address, send me pictures, send me the scope, and we will send you a virtual estimate. We don't need to go out there. Obviously, the listing is going to be online, so I can see every picture, right? So if you're not a painter, like if you don't know that a company does this, right, then you're not excited to to tell people this, right? So the benefit is I was able to say all this in front of these individuals, right? And say, look, we're here to be a trusted resource for you. Not only are we going to make the process super smooth for any of your clients who are buying a house, we are also going to make it really smooth for you for anyone that's selling the house and wants a quick estimate on what it would be, and without us having to schedule an appointment, do a walk around. No, none of that. So they were blown away. A lot of people who aren't in the industry are blown away that we're able to give a price so freely. Part of the reason why we're able to do that, why, guys? Because I niche down. I don't take every job. I know exactly what my costs are for everything that we do. We only do 4 things: ceilings, walls, trim, and doors. So ultimately, everything's proportional. We can quote a price just by a picture. So, and they were blown away by that. They did not know that we could do that. Yes, we can do that. So I'm definitely going to be expecting quick estimates in return, from these realtors. It's a lot different when you're working with realtors than homeowners. I'm okay with a realtor sending me an address and some photos, right? So I can shoot them out a price. Hey, we could do it for this when they want it done, right? I don't need to go through that whole nurturing process that I would normally go through with a homeowner. It's just way different. I am working for the realtor in this regard, as opposed to me working for a homeowner. That's the difference. So how can I make it easy for the person that I'm working for, who's going to be vouching for me, right? How do I make it easy for them? So that's what I tried to do when I did my presentation, was literally just focusing on how I'm going to be an extension of them, right? I said they're an extension of me. I'm an extension of them. I want to be their right hand for helping their customers list their house and helping their customers move in. And the more that they see that we're here for them and we communicate with them effectively and we show them that, hey, we'll give you a price as soon as possible, the more frequent that we're going to have these opportunities. I mean, these are great opportunities to work with a good realtor and their agents. So let me get to kind of helping those of you who obviously have not yet had the opportunity to do this. I'm hopefully preparing you. And what I suggest that you do is that, number one, I suggest that you find a really good real estate agency. Okay. They want good contractors. Okay. They do. I mean, everyone, not only just homeowners, has poor experiences with contractors. They want someone they can trust. They cannot get to know you unless you meet with them. Like, there's no way. Yeah, you might have a good brand, they have all this, but like, ultimately, when they have the courage to refer somebody, the only way they're going to do it is if they either had an experience with you and can vouch honestly, or you've came in and you did a presentation, or you sat down or bought them lunch, or whatever you had to do to get them to say, hey, okay, this guy's somebody I can trust. Right? That's the reality of it. And I know I'm not the only one that's wondering why realtors aren't giving out your name left and right. I mean, even though we know that buyers and sellers are huge for us. Like, whenever somebody calls me and says, hey, I'm buying a house, I get excited. I'm like, perfect. Empty house, ready to go. Let's do it. Sellers, yeah, I'm getting ready to sell my house. Perfect. And then I sell them on speed and efficiency. So for us, that was the main focus. I also mentioned in our talk was essentially how we work with teams of 4. We're able to get in and get out. So I really emphasized, again, when I was in that environment, selling myself and my company to these 13 realtors, okay, I was not selling our product or our service. I was selling the why. Like I do everything, guys. I was selling why. Why premium painting? Why would you hire us? And all I'm doing is, first of all, I know their motive, right, of why they wouldn't refer somebody is if they don't communicate well. So all I did was talk about how great of our communication is. I know the motive of why they would refer somebody is to get the house listed. So I said, well, this is how easy it would be for us to get you a quote so you can get the house listed. Just text these photos here, send the square footage here, send the scope here, and we'll get you a virtual estimate within 2 hours. Right. And then I made it. Then I know why they wouldn't refer somebody to for a buyer to move in. Is maybe because they feel like the deposit wouldn't be refunded, or there'd be some hurdle in the way. So I just addressed all those reasons why not, ultimately then creating a really good environment as to why. Okay, cool. They'll take care of my buyers, they'll take care of my sellers, and more importantly, they'll take care of me. Right. So that was the focus. Now, going back to you getting your foot in the door, right? Don't go in empty handed. I got everybody Starbucks gift cards, small investment, but you know what? It was appreciated. I'm thankful for the opportunity for them to give me their ears, but you need to be creative. This is marketing. Marketing and creativity go hand in hand. You don't see the same commercials every time, right? Like if you watch a Super Bowl, right? There's new creatives behind it. That's why when you're building ads, they're called creatives. It's about being creative. And for me, like every time I come up with a new brochure or come up with a new idea, I'm like, how can I be creative here? How can I create an experience? And this was no different. So I just went to Starbucks. I got $5 gift cards. I didn't want to bribe them. I just said, hey, your next coffee's on us, right? So I suggest that you do what I did, get 25 brochures printed out. You can build them on Canva, right? Canva.com. They have a brochure template, build it out. Okay. Super easy. Go to staples.com, upload it, print it for $30. They'll print you 30 of them. Go to a real estate office. Okay. Put a paper clip with a $5 gift card to Starbucks and your business card and say, hey, I just wanted to give these to the realtors. Real quick before I go, does anyone have a moment to talk today? And, just get to know one of them, right? And then say, hey, I just want to introduce myself. My name's whoever, owner of whatever. And, I just wanted to give you this. I just get my name out in the area. We're a trusted company, and practice some of the things I just told you guys. And you can say, well, I know that you probably have buyers and sellers. Do you have a moment for me to explain how we would help buyers? And they say, yeah, sure. Whatever. Yeah, well, with buyers, one thing that's really important to them is the fact that in order to get things done, they have to schedule things ahead of time, but they always have the risk of the deal falling through. So what we do is we call this like our home buyer guarantee, is that we'll refund the deposit if the deal falls through. This way they don't feel like, in the event that something out of their control happens, that they can still schedule things with us. And, hopefully we can get to that point. And then for your sellers, one thing that you'll really appreciate is we actually can do estimates pretty quickly. So I know that, them just trying to price things out to decide whether or not they want to do it. You can actually just send us the square footage and the photos, and we can do our best to give you either a ballpark price or something really close. Boom. So you tackle both things wow, that's interesting for sellers. Wow, that's interesting for buyers. And now for you, more importantly, we're really good about communication. So one thing about us is we will keep you in the loop throughout the entire process as if you're the homeowner, and we'll talk to them as well, but we want you to be on the same page. And more importantly, we just want to earn a good reputation with you and your firm. So I got you guys these brochures. Do you mind if I leave them here? Oh my God, absolutely. And for you, we have some gift cards just for your next cup of coffee. It's on us. So, look, guys, it's all about putting yourself out there, getting to know people, building trust, identifying the reasons to why not to buy, and then showcasing why to buy. There's so many things, but realtors are a great avenue. So I'm thankful for my opportunity. If you get one of the same, please share it with me. I'd love to hear how you approached it. And I would go for the brokers and say, hey, do you mind if, I come in and talk to your agents and, maybe just do a little spiel on who we are, what we do. And hopefully you get that opportunity. So knock on the door, guys. Opportunities out there. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys go out there and talk some realtors.
Hey, I just want to take a second to thank you for joining me here on the Contractor Secrets podcast. I'm just going to take this opportunity to let you know that my passion is coaching people, helping people. I've changed my Instagram name to @contractorcoach. And I did that because that is my passion. I want to help you. So please reach out to me. If you have an issue going on in your business, send me an email. Find me on Instagram, message me, and let's do a breakthrough session. I want to work through your problems in your business to help you get to that next level. And one thing that I always say is this, the difference between those that get over the humps and the hurdles in business is just a change in perspective. And that's what I plan to offer you. So get with me, message me, allow me to help you take your business to the next level.